Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com. And today I'm going to show you a great routine that combines two of my favorite tools, the TRX and the Kettlebell, into a great 4-exercise circuit that's going to let you address a lot of the areas that you need to be successful as a mountain biker. So what we're going to do is start out with a rear foot elevated split squat or Bulgarian split squat, depending upon what you call it. And we're going to do it with the TRX here. So what I'm going to do is actually, I've got the handles doubled up so they're one unit here. I'm going to lower the handles down until they're about level with my knee, because that's what I'm looking for. When your foot's in this strap, you want it about level with the front leg knee. So we're going to get set up by putting one foot back in the strap. Hop forward a little bit. So this is what this is going to look like. You're going to lower yourself down, all the way down to the bottom, and then drive yourself back up to the top. Main things that I'm looking for here. I want the fold to be coming from the hip. So I want you coming down and that shin staying pretty much vertical. I don't want you driving the movement from the ankle and that knee pushing forward over the foot. I want to make sure you're staying nice and tall. There's no collapsing as we come down. And on the way back up, you want to think about pushing the earth away from you to drive yourself back up. Squeeze your glute, pull your kneecap high, and push the ground away from you to get back up. So you can add load to this by grabbing your kettlebell and holding it in the rack position on the opposite side of the working leg. So if I got my right leg forward here, I've got this on my left side, execute a few reps, show you what it looks like with the weight, driving back up, down nice and steady, staying tall, drive the earth away from you, back up nice and tall. So that's your rear foot elevated split squat. What that's working on there for us is the mechanics that we need with the hip and the core to create a strong, efficient pedal stroke. We want to be driving hard with the lead leg, minimizing the interference from the trail leg, stabilizing from the core, and this exercise does a great job of teaching your body how to do that and how to get strong with that. So the next exercise that we're going to do is a kettlebell clean into a shoulder, or into a side press, And this is a great exercise because we're going to work on the hip explosiveness that we need for bunny hopping and manualing and jumping on our bike. We're going to work on the shoulder strength and stability that we need to be able to absorb trail impacts and just kind of, muscle our bike around on the trail if we need to. And we're also going to work on the lateral hip mobility and stability that we need for cornering. So all in all, this is just a really great bang for your buck kind of exercise. So I'll show you what this one's going to look like. We're going to do our clean. So hiking the kettlebell back, clean it up to a good strong rack position. Once you're in your rack position, you're going to drive the kettlebell up over your head. Remember, we want to think about driving ourselves down into the ground instead of reaching for the ceiling. We're going to drive that kettlebell up, and as we do that, we're going to drive our hips over to the side. We're going to watch the kettlebell. So right here, I'm balanced between my feet. Then I'm going to drive my hips back underneath me. Bring the kettlebell back down to my rack position. Go into my next clean, side press, boom, back down, clean, side press, back down. So show you the side press from the side real quick. You want to make sure that you're not twisting and leaning, so you're staying straight. You don't want to get to that position there. And also at the top, you want to make sure that your biceps lined up with your ear. Everything's nice and straight. So that's what you're looking for. You don't want any twisting or leaning or anything like that out of your side press. So that's your clean into a side press. The next exercise that we're going to do is a single arm inverted row on the TRX here. So I'm going to leave the handles together. I'm going to pop these handles up to their tall position. I'm going to grab with one arm. I'm going to lean back. Stand nice and strong in the core. Make sure I got a good space between my shoulder and my ear. I'm going to think about driving my elbow back behind me and lower myself back down. Drive the elbow behind me, lower myself back down. So even though your elbow is not actually going behind you, if you think about driving your elbow behind you, it's going to make sure that you're activating the right muscles as opposed to trying to pull yourself up. So make sure you're thinking about driving that elbow behind you and keep good space between your shoulder and your ear. You don't want to get to the top and lose that and hunched up and trying to secure things from your neck. So make sure that you're keeping that shoulder space good. We're staying nice and strong in the core. At that bottom position, you don't want to buck the hips and drive yourself up by bucking the hips into it to create the momentum. So good, strong, solid single arm inverted rows. This is going to build good upper back strength, which kind of goes in hand with our shoulder strength and stability in order to just create a good, strong, stable upper body on the trail, which is important for trail riding. And then lastly, what we're going to do is a TRX fallout. And so for this, we're going to leave the TRX in the tall position. We're going to separate the handles though. And then what we're going to do is walk out a little bit. Get your arms out in front of you. Get your shoulders pushed down away from your ears. Get your armpits tight. You want to make sure you're driving this movement from your armpits. So core is nice and tall and strong. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lower your chest down to the ground. And then you're going to drive yourself back up to the top position. So a couple things that you want to keep in mind with this. You want to make sure that you are coming down and staying strong in the lats. What this is working on for us is when you're in a steep climbing position and you're having to use your arms to help, and upper body to help keep the front end of your bike down, well, you can't real effectively keep your chest over the front end and do that. And so what you're having to do is lock down with the core and use these lats and your armpit muscles to keep that front end down and to press down. So that's what we're working on with this. So think about that while you're doing the exercise. Make sure that you've got your core locked down tight. You've got those armpit muscles engaged, the lats engaged. You're lowering yourself down. You're lowering yourself down from those lats. And then when you drive yourself back up, think about driving your hands down towards the ground and squeezing those lats to drive yourself back up. So that is our TRX fallout. So a couple ways that you can get going with this routine. You can do 3 to 4 rounds of this circuit. I suggest doing 6 to 8 reps with each of these exercises. You know, if we're adding load or using the TRX, like moving in to increase the difficulty of the exercise. So we're shooting for 6 to 8 reps, 3 to 4 rounds. Or you can actually do this as kind of a mini cardio circuit where you set a clock for, say, 10 minutes and see how many rounds of this you can get through in that 10-minute time period. So a couple ways for you to start incorporating this routine into your routine. So again, it's a great way to start using the TRX and kettlebell to start giving you better results. Little mini routines like this are great to do on days that you're not doing a regular training routine, so that every day you're kind of moving in a positive direction. And so, yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this little routine. Once again, it's been James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems. You can check me out on the web at bikejames.com.